Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I like to keep it short and easy, so if you later want to reach out to me, just go by my first name, David. I am the head of the strategic product management here in China, responsible for local products and also local for global products. I do understand that I do understand that I'm in the way for your well-deserved lunch break. However, I would like to shortly have a quick story which happened to me after I arrived yesterday. When my plane landed here, my wife called me just to make sure that everything is safe. And we had a little bit talk, and then she told me she's already ordering online. My wife does this very frequently. She enjoys it to buy from the huge available online shops here in China. And when I'm traveling, this is a way how she sometimes spends the time. Oh, okay. How do I move? This one. Okay, thank you. Why I'm telling you this? Because when I was talking to her last night, I discovered that there are actually a few things happening when she's placing the order, and I found it very interesting to think about what is actually happening there, especially with regards to today's presentation. So in my mind, there was a picture created which looks a little bit like this. You see here, it's more or less a vision of a 5G factory warehouse. But within this vision, you have a lot of applications and scenarios, puzzle pieces which work out together in order to have an autonomous 24/7 availability delivery. So when my wife placed the order yesterday, somehow this order got translated into an executable automation command, which was received probably by a logic controller. I hope for a Siemens PLC, but any logic controller would do, who's then executing and giving this command. So this means out of her apartment, on the sofa, my wife triggered somewhere in China a reaction, which I think is very impressive. But the reaction is not enough. Somebody needs to do something. Or in our case, since we want to have a high level of automation, we would place now AGVs in order to get the packages picked up and get it ready for transport. My wife is a heavy shopper, so one AGV is not enough, 2 AGVs is not enough. We need many AGVs. And if we do have many AGVs, we want to have it engineered very fast and repeatable. We want to have ensured that these AGVs don't collision with each other. And we want to ensure that there are no deadlocks or timing issues. Oh. Okay. Going a little bit deeper into the remote access I was talking about, and my previous speaker just said he has problems to find applications in industry. One of the problems I typically find when talking about 5G applications is that our customer domain is very conservative. So they are used to cables, they are used to shielding. So they hesitate a little bit to come over this approach. One way to argue with them, one way to convince them, because it's more or less just an emotional decision we're facing here, since the technology of 5G is ready when working in the defined parameters, but to convince and to get the customers out of this used to behavior, an easy way to explain it is to say, hey, there is not changing so much. Yeah? We're still using the same bus types, we're still using the same real-time communication, we are still very reliable, we have a low latency, so all you need is there, you just need to step over and have trust in the new technologies. And one way to achieve this is by using Profinet or also other open communication standards. These open communication standards allow us this nice and sweet spot between data transmission rate, amount of devices connected, and also the assurance of the reliability and deterministic. Remote control is often or mostly used there where you have either long distances to bridge, where people need to walk long ways, so that they spend more time with walking or with changing the working place instead of actually performing the job, or where you have an environmental condition which is not very suitable or healthy for the people. The AGV technology consists of a fully integrated, light-weighted solution. Light-weighted, therefore, because the AGV consumes energy, has a battery issue, so you don't want, on default, carry around a lot of weight. You want to be flexible, you want to easily scale them up, so you need a high level of standardization. And again, for deadlocks and transportation systems, you normally also want to have the ability to simulate these effects before you actually put it in place. But these two scenarios, I just explained a little bit more briefly, they also have a problem. So when you go more into the 5G, when you go more into automation, one problem stays. And this problem is the energy consumption will rise. Yes, you reduce the workload, you reduce the time, you increase proficiency, but what you not do is you don't decrease the energy consumption. Luckily, as of today, we already have enough solutions available to limit this negative impact of more automation. This we do by placing energy measurements, visualizing the data, analyzing the data, and with AI technologies, we're also able to predict what options do we have in order to save more energy, which will not only affect the costs on the operator side, but also is a very important step forward to carbon neutrality, which is one of the big trends in our times. Now I would like to go into certain application cases, and maybe some of you, like me, arrived by plane. And when you get out of this plane, you normally go over a gangway or a walking way. So what happened recently in the Shenzhen Bao'an airport is that they discovered that if they have the operator, and you maybe remember this little terminal which is in a gangway, the people need to run quite fast to the next gateway in order to be there on time to let the people out of the plane. So what they did is they integrated a remote control for these gangways so that one operator is responsible for multiple gangways and airports at the same time. So they save the time of the people going from gate A to B to C, and therefore they have less labor costs, but they also can ensure that the operation of the airport is running smoothly because it's saving so much time, and time is money. The next example is about coming from the automobile. There we have the final assembly line where the car housing gets transported through and you have robot arms putting the last pieces together. The normal problem you have here is the supply chain, so how to get the parts on time towards the robots because they're fixed. So the solution in this scenario was that you have AGVs with a kind of intelligence on board. They know how much parts they have covered. They know which process steps lie ahead. They provide the material towards the robot, and once they run out, they automatically go to the home port and place new orders, new parts there. This increases the efficiency of the production tremendously, And it's also easily integratable as long as you already have a wireless network installed. Last but not least, we talked about energy consumption, which would you most likely do with gathering the data and transform to some kind of computing, edge or cloud platform. What you also find often in the industry is that you don't have an ideal situation. An ideal situation would be you have a very standardized solution, so you can easily on top put digitalization. But this is not the case in many cases. Yeah? Customers have different machines, different vendors, different bus types, so you're facing a lot of problems. One way to come over it and still leverage the benefits of data collection is that you integrate an interface or a gateway. This you could, for example, do by an IoT device where you put on the different protocols that then communicates with the different machine types in an assembly line, gathering the data, putting it to the cloud or to an edge computing system, and therefore you can have all the benefits of visualizing, of putting your AI applications on top of it, and on doing predictive things, be it maintenance or providing my wife with further suggestions what to buy. Thank you very much.